The United States of America is approaching its 250th anniversary. The Declaration of Independence promises the unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But for too many people in this nation, unequal access to healthcare still determines who gets to live long enough to know liberty or pursue happiness. In my home city of Chicago, that promise takes on starkly different meanings depending on where you live. In some neighborhoods, residents thrive well into old age, but in others, life is cut dramatically short. Why do these health disparities exist?
Access to healthcare varies by a number of things, like transportation. Do you live in a safe neighborhood? Is your building safe? Do you have access to fresh food? And other things that are called health-related social determinants that really affect your access to healthcare. If you look at the map of the west side of Chicago, you'll find on the black west side of Chicago, there's not one CVS and very few Walgreens. So something that might be as simple to you, like going to the drugstore, is out of reach.
In the US, does where you live ultimately shape your health more than any of your genetic factors?
Chicago's average life expectancy is 78.7 years, yet this average hides a shocking divide. In the Loop, life expectancy is 87.3 years, but in West Garfield Park, it is only 66.6 years, a more than 20-year discrepancy within the same city.
There is no starker or clearer depiction of unequal access than that, just 5 miles apart. And people get to live 15 years longer or 15 years less because of their zip code, because of their socioeconomic status and so on.
Inglewood is one of the least insured neighborhoods in the city. If you were to overlay where our healthcare resources are, doctors' offices, clinics, hospitals, and lay them on top of the city, you will see them all densely located on the north side compared to the south side.
Across the United States, disparities in healthcare access and outcomes mirror what we see in Chicago, with racial and geographic gaps tied to chronic disease, violence, and limited access to preventive care.
Generations of systemic disadvantages in healthcare delivery and in healthcare access in communities of color and Black communities in particular are now amplified in the city of Chicago, suburban Cook County, in greater St. Louis, in cities and towns all across our state and our nation.
It is unacceptable that life expectancy on average, which is low in America in general, is about 5 years lower for Black Americans and 11 years lower for Native Americans than it is for white Americans.
And medical debt is a major obstruction to our inalienable right to liberty.
Medical debt is a hazard. It leads to healthcare discrimination and delayed care. And beyond health, nearly 2 in 3 adults experiencing it report cutting back on food, clothing, and other basic household needs to pay down their debt. It's a uniquely American problem.
But if you don't have financial stability, you don't have the blessing of thinking long term. You're thinking about how to get through today. You're not trying to figure out how to just be stable for the next year. You're just trying to pay rent for this month.
But not all agree on how to prioritize or define healthcare's place in society. Some argue that healthcare is a policy choice, not a guaranteed constitutional right.
And now, as a result of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of people are on the verge of experiencing dramatically increased healthcare costs that will either push them into medical bankruptcy or prevent them from being able to go see a doctor when they need one.
And others argue that progress has already been made.
Including folks in the Black and brown community, we were able to offer them health insurance coverage, quality health insurance coverage, for less than $10 a month. You can't even go see a movie for $10 in one movie.
But the fight to reduce these health disparities is far from over.
I believe that healthcare is a right, not a privilege.
But I want to take it to your fundamental question here, the Declaration of Independence, and the idea of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as sort of an inalienable right. Health is a human right. And if it's a human right, we're all entitled to it. And that entitlement comes in the form of not only access to health care, but access to those 60% of health outcomes that are called the determinants of health. And then by doing the kinds of things I mentioned before that may help a community be healthier and reduce these outcome inequalities, could make a big difference and ultimately lower costs.
They are very solvable. There's a preventive. Are we going to solve it in our lifetime? I don't know. Our healthcare system, at least for now, is not set up that way.
So you need to go to those communities and ask the people in those communities, where do you need this money? Throwing blanket resources at a community where only half of the resources you're providing are really necessary is not a good use of money. And if that money is scarce, you don't want to be doing that. So if you're going into the people that are already there, the churches, the schools, the community programs already existing, and then using their knowledge and their experience to really target the need in that community, that's the best way to get to that next step.
As the United States of America approaches its 250th anniversary, the question is no longer whether these disparities exist, but rather whether we are willing to confront them, because a nation founded on unalienable rights cannot accept a system where access to life itself is unequal.